Thank you. Can you tell us about yourself as an architect? When did you know you wanted to be an architect? Where did you go to design school? What was your education like, and how did you decide to work at ZGF?
My history in architecture goes back a couple decades, but prior to that, I was kind of brought into the world of. I came up actually working as a set designer in New York for theater and opera, um, and kind of a core passion of mine was just being part of a design community that gave back. And I realized in there that I needed to do something a little more permanent. So not just the ephemeral quality of stage sets, but wanted to impact the built environment. And so I transitioned and went back to moved back home, I guess, to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where I attended the School of Architecture and Urban Planning at UW Milwaukee. Um, that's where I received my master's degree, and from there, got into um, a lot of different building typologies. I specialized a lot in healthcare and higher ed and labs. And then my family decided to move west for new opportunities. Portland seemed to combine kind of the best of everything that we're looking for as far as you know, um, urban city close to the natural environment, close to the coast. And it was kind of what appealed to me about ZGF was its rich contributions to civic projects. So ZGF has been working out at PDX since the 1960s, I believe, and that's been a really strong partnership for giving back to the community. But it's also we've also done work for the convention center as well. So there's kind of an imprint that ZGF has left on the city, not just architecturally, but also because of urban planning. So a lot, whether it's TriMet stops or big strategies about shaping public space like Directors Park in the city, that ZGF has had the opportunity to help craft. And actually, craft reminds me of one of the biggest selling points to me is just kind of the passion and dedication that as designers that we put into our projects to really shape human experience and make sure that people as well as the place perform kind of as best they can.
Can you discuss mass timber projects at ZGF? How did the firm begin taking on mass timber projects, and what's the history of the firm's interest in sustainable design?
There are two kind of key qualities of ZGF practice that I think are important to note here. One is kind of regional placemaking is one aspect, and the other is a drive towards sustainability. And mass timber kind of hits on both of those. At PDX, we really wanted to try something, use material that reflected the people in place, and so mass timber was perfect for that. It also has the advantage of having a much lighter carbon footprint than other traditional building systems like concrete and steel. At CGF with mass timber, as I think I said earlier, goes back many decades. Timber is not a new building material, but I think what we've been able to do successfully is take that material and apply it to a building system to expand its potential. So obviously we've done things with heavy timber back in the day and continue to expand that. Over the last 10, 15 years or so, more products have come online like CLT, mass ply panel that have given us more opportunities to replace metal deck or concrete decks or roofs in buildings. And with that comes a much lighter carbon footprint. So we've done everything from a community center with Latino Network. The project is La Plaza Esperanza that opened just earlier this year, or late last year it finished, I should say. That's an example of a small scale project where it's kind of a community center with childcare that uses large CLT panels for gravity and lateral systems, which is pretty unique. But we've also built on our expertise of designing lab facilities with really intense uses and high vibration requirements. A good example of that is one project that's under construction now for the Oregon State University. It's a collaboration innovation center where it'll house a supercomputer, and that heat will be harvested in part of district heating. But there are also labs with very strict vibration requirements, in labs where they use microscopes. In this case, they had a criteria of 2000 MIPS, so very low vibration. And this project for OSU will achieve that requirement when it's built. And I believe it is the first mass timber project that will do that. It uses a mass plywood structural frame with CLT deck and concrete topping to achieve that. Other parts of the building where there isn't as much strict vibration criteria, we just use thinner and lighter composite systems, but mass plywood, it is mass plywood, but it's mass timber building throughout. The reason we use it for sustainability is because it allows us to use a renewable material with a lower carbon footprint. And we've also pushed the boundaries of sourcing that material. So when we're able to tap into the supply chain and source wood from forests that we know to be managed sustainably, using climate smart forestry, we're able to track that and ensure that there's additional biogenic carbon savings as well that can be stored in the building for the life of throughout its service life.